Yo, 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 it's Crow, the MTF bro. Hey, and welcome to my channel. So, who am I and why am I doing this? I am a 27-year-old British transgender woman who has recently come into many revelations about her identity. So, before I transitioned, and I've been on hormones for about 2.5 years now, I thought I was a gay man and I was only in relationships with men, having sex with men, and I really thought that was who I was. But, I had the whole dysphoria thing, like the fog, like feeling like I was wading through treacle on an everyday basis, just all of that bullshit. But at the same time, it took me a long time to come around to the idea that I might be transgender. And even then, I identified as non-binary for a long time before I decided to take the plunge and go on hormone therapy. And the reason for that is because I never identified with the trans girls around me. They would be like, oh my God, I put on a dress and makeup and I felt amazing. And I would do that and I would kind of feel like a freak. I managed to find some kind of level of gender nonconformity and like gender fuckery that I enjoyed playing with. What I didn't enjoy so much was getting massive harassment for it and being like hypersexualized and all these things. So I had very complicated feelings about gender, but I knew that something was wrong. I needed to transition in some way. So I started going on hormones, and at that point, like, my social, romantic, and sexual lives were all pretty much on pause because I had just come out of like a long period of depression. So it was really kind of a whole process of rebirth. Anyway, I started hormones and just didn't think about sexuality or anything for quite a long time. And then last year with coronavirus, I was kind of forced to confront my own feelings and really start to figure out, like, who are you? Because I was really struggling with this idea that, well, I was a gay man before, and now I guess I have to be a straight woman. Like, I really hated the idea of being straight because, culturally, like, oh, who wants to be straight? Straight people do, but nobody else does. Well, actually, I guess some gay people do, but they're wrong. They're wrong. They need to stop hating themselves and start loving the queer. Anyway, so I was all like, trying to convince myself I was a straight woman, trying to pass more, doing voice training, really making myself sound really nice and feminine, learning to do makeup, painting my nails, which I haven't fucking done in ages, mainly because I'm lazy. I do actually like doing it. Trying to wear dresses and just do all of that shit that you have to do in order to earn the attraction of straight men, which is honestly a joke because they should be competing for us because we're here and they're there. But that's another story. Anyway, so I was doing all this stuff and I was really convincing myself as like, yeah, I'm a straight girl. I love to be like dominated by a man, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've got a big billionaire alpha guy, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched a little video called Shame by ContraPoints, Natalie Wynn. You may have heard of her. And I realized I was a lesbian. And this was about a month or two ago. And since then, I've been on a wild roller coaster ride of gender feels, emotions, transgressions, and revelations. So I realized that I was a lesbian. And what I'm not really sure about is, was I always attracted to women? And I just like mega suppressed it because of dysphoria and like the compulsory heterosexuality and like the objectifying male gaze kind of thing? Or was it that I was attracted to men before and now I'm attracted to women and the hormones just kind of flipped a switch and that I am just like, inherently, I'm just like 100% a homosexual. Like, you can't stop me from being a homosexual. Sorry, that's to remind me to rest my eyes, but I'm not going to do that because I'm watching all of you. No, it's nothing to do. Well, okay, so I couldn't figure out, is it, was it there all along, or am I just like, did I switch gays? That's apparently the term for it, switching gays. I don't know. I don't feel like it really matters at this point, TBQH. I've just come to the realization that's like, I am a lesbian. Now, I know it's only been a few months, so, there's the possibility I might be bisexual or pansexual. But to be fair, I was identifying as bisexual before and just not really analyzing my attraction to women. And now that I've thought about it and really explored it a bit more, I'm like 99% sure I'm just a full-on lesbo. And that's actually one of the things that annoys me is like how many people have been like, oh, but you could be bi. Oh, but you could be fluid. I'm going to make a whole other video about that. By the way, I've got my notes here, so I'm just going to check them. So not only did I realize I was lesbian, I realized I'm butch. And it's like, as soon as I started reading about butch lesbian identity, all of these lights started to go off. Everything started to become clear because like I've always been attracted to the aesthetic of masculinity, like sports gear and like being buff and stuff. But I was bullied and like ostracized for being basically a faggot and a queer. So I never was able to actually integrate in that. And I always found much more solidarity and companionship with women and like queer people, gender non-conforming people. So I was very confused for a long time. But since transitioning and since realizing I'm butch, I've started dressing more masculinely. I've started working out and I've gotten such amazing gender euphoria from it. Whereas wearing the dresses and shit was giving me dysphoria. So basically I've come to the realization is I am a butch transgender lesbian. I get gender euphoria from wearing men's clothes as a woman. And if you think that sounds confusing, imagine all the fucking twists and turns I had to go through to reach that conclusion. It's a very confusing journey being an AMAB butch lesbian. So that's why I'm making this channel, because there are so few resources about, actually on both sides, there are very few resources for feminine transgender men and for masculine or masculine of center transgender women. But I think especially for butch trans women and masculine of center trans women, there's like nothing. There's some stuff about like being a tomboy, but really for like butchness, like that specific particular lesbian identity, there's not a lot of resources. Like if you go on Google or YouTube, you'll find this like panel discussion from like 2011, you know, and that's like the most salient thing. So I've done a lot of searching. And what's been the most useful for me is when I have found butch YouTubers who have talked about this stuff. Some of them, one of them particularly I'm thinking maybe wouldn't identify as butch, but is an AMAB trans person. And the other one is, an AFAB butch, whatever. I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically I found some voices that like helped me figure this stuff out. And of course I read Stone Butch Blues by Leslie Feinberg, which everyone should read. I'm going to make a video about that probably. I should just start carrying it into all of the videos. Anyway, this channel is for you if you are, and you probably are if you're here, if you are a butch transgender woman or a masculine of center transgender woman, or just a very confused pre-transition AMAB person having a lot of feelings, and you've Googled this or you've searched this into YouTube and you use the right keywords, you've come to the right place. So this channel is really just going to be me exploring this journey, trying to explain my feelings, trying to hopefully create like a roadmap, not a roadmap, but like a resource, a lifeline to people like me so that we don't have to go through this shit alone. Because people say, oh, trans women can be masculine, trans men can be feminine. They say all the platitudes. But when you are actually sitting at that very specific minority intersection, it's fucking terrifying because there are like no resources. So it's like, well, I can do this, but how do I do this? You know? And when you've got all of society telling you, all of the rest of society telling you that you're not allowed to do it, it really helps to have those voices, I think. So the name of this channel is just kind of a joke. I'm making this under a separate name as I do all of my other content. You may know me under another name. I ask you to keep the identities private. Don't go calling me my other name in the comments. Not because I'm like ashamed of this side of my identity or anything. It's just because it's a very different style of content from the other content I make, which is a bit more family friendly, doesn't have any swearing, and doesn't go into so much detail about personal sexual stuff. So yeah, the MTF bro thing is just kind of a joke. Because I was like, wouldn't that be like a funny gender identity, MTF bro? And then I was like, oh, it must exist, right? Because they're like Mo guy and stuff. And then I looked it up and literally no one is using MTF bro. So it's partly a branding thing. I am the original MTF bro. Like, dude, we are going to get so much girl cock tonight. Dude, pass me the estrogen. Like very that. Also, I'm making this because it's coronavirus and I have nothing better to do, and it's very hard to explore your burgeoning lesbian sexuality when you're stuck inside all the time. Although I do have a girlfriend and we are going to be meeting up soon, so stay posted. Thanks for watching. If you do feel like this content is reaching out to you and it's something useful for you and you have comments or questions or just support, please do leave a comment. I would be very appreciative. I would love to have a discussion with any of you who feel this is relevant to you. Of course, you don't have to be a butch trans woman. You could be of any gender persuasion. You could be cisgender. I'll even allow a straight person as long as you're respectful, okay? But do remember to respect my boundaries. Yeah, don't go asking stuff about just like, you know, I might talk about some personal stuff in these videos, but don't go preemptively asking it because you're cruising for a bruising, mate. That's about as manly as I can get. I'm building up muscles, mainly just so I can pick up my girlfriend. So yeah, all right. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side. I don't know how I'm going to sign these off, so bye.